Like
This is gonna be the sloppiest recap of them all, baby. I took the worst notes ever.
bruh, like I just ready to go straight to the finale.
I'm just ready. Yeah, honestly, that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm just ready for this new season of the challenge because this final put a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah, let's talk about it. What's up, everybody?
it.
Welcome to
What's
Challenge
good?
Express. Choo choo. It is me, Tom, joined by my wonderful co-host, Daniel from Challenge Centric. What's up, Daniel?
Everything good, bro.
Everything great. Let's do it. So, we didn't have a recap last episode 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
But basically the best part was the elimination balls in Enzo versus David, which was a good elimination. You know, obviously they're two people who gassed out pretty quickly, but it was still fun to watch a classic balls in elimination. Enzo winning was surprising to me. I don't know how you felt.
Um, Enzo's a bit bigger than David, so I wasn't surprised that David lost.
Yeah. I just thought like from like what we've seen from David recently, it looked like he was just going to be the better overall competitor, like maybe more endurance, but that old man strength and just being around in life longer than somebody, that's endurance within itself. Just being alive longer.
Yeah, I respect David like mentality and the fight he had, coming towards the latter part of the game. So respect to David.
Yeah. Yeah, respect to Enzo as well, the elimination king this season.
Yeah,
44 years old, just knocking everybody out.
like that's crazy.
So
Knocking
we
everybody to beat anyway.
Yeah, the beginning of this episode, it was like a super long episode, way too long, way too long. Getting tired was the daily challenge. It was a female elimination. It was a really cool daily challenge. That's why I wanted to mention it. I like this type of stuff a lot, where it's like go into this abandoned warehouse, junkyard area. We hid, certain tires around that have different point systems. Some are harder to find, some are easy to find, depending on how much points they're worth. So it's all up to you how much time you want to spend looking for these higher point tires, or if you just want to get the first tire you see and make more laps. There was only 2 pink tires, which cost 20 points. Angela and Tyson got to them. Angela ends up spending an hour and a half on a slide puzzle. And that is her demise, and she ends up getting the least amount of points. Dom and Tyson tie for first, and they have no tiebreaker, so there's 3 winners. That like never happens.
Yeah, I mean, I was cool. It was interesting. I wasn't mad that 3 of them was in it because it gave, I guess, more weight for the person who they wanted to go in. Tyson was sold on Angela not going in, and of course, Angela's tied to Alyssa, so
Yeah.
made sure that wasn't the case, regardless of Sarah thing. But I think
Yeah.
Sarah was wrong-headed, but I think it would have been a stalemate.
Yeah, that would have been interesting because Tyson would have wanted to throw in Kayla, and Sarah and Kayla are like best friends.
Yeah.
So I wonder what would have happened there.
Yeah. Yeah, Team Boy would have been like, yeah, like somebody going in. Like,
I guess maybe Justine or like a Desi. Maybe a Desi would have went in or something. That would have been crazy. Desi versus Angela in pole wrestle.
that
would have
was
been sick.
yeah.
But we get poor little Alyssa in this pole wrestle elimination. Great competitor, but no, this is not her elimination type. Angela beats the crap out of her. So going into the final, we have 10 people: Ben, Tyson, Dom, Enzo, and Danny, Sarah, Angela, Kayla, Desi, and Justine. Ben gets medically DQ'd due to him hurting his shoulder in that getting tired challenge. He was just too hyper. He was like, yes, I got the tire. And he's just like running down a dark hallway and trips and crushes his shoulder.
Yeah, I knew that would have been the end of the line for him.
Yeah, apparently he refused to do the end of the show confessionals or like interviews. You know how like after the final they bring people back to do it confessionals? Apparently he refused. So I don't know.
Wow,
He must have had a bad experience there.
wow.
But yeah, we're in the
In this
final right
combo,
now.
in this
Uh,
combo, like how I guess like him and Sarah was like tight, and then he like kind of like jumped ship on the next team.
yeah, he was all over the place. Him and Sarah's relationship was super strange this season,
Yeah,
especially hearing it from Tyson's podcast. It was like one day they were friends, one day they weren't. It's like they were joined at the hip and then they hated each other, and then like it was just very strange. It didn't
yeah, but
portray it like that on TV, but we did see something like a hint of
yeah,
it.
because I wouldn't say because I would have thought that you know on Sarah's end everything was good, but on Ben's end it was more so like all right, like let me work with them, but then we still friends, and it's like,
Yeah.
bro,
It's
yeah,
like when Ben threw Enzo in. It's like we're still
we're
we're
still
still
friends.
Benzo.
Benzo. No, you're not Benzo.
You're not.
I'm like, bro, Tom, if you ever do that to me on the show, like,
Yeah, right, bro. I have too
uh,
much self-awareness to like and like
I
dignity.
I literally cut you off.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame you.
Like that's just grimy. Like it's grimy.
That's mad grimy. And it's like it's one thing doing it and then another thing doing it and acting like you're not doing it. It's like we're
Yeah,
still
it's like,
Benzo. Yeah, we're
well,
still
yeah,
Benzo,
we're
but you're
good.
going into elimination.
Like, did he even come up to him and say that he was going in?
Yeah, he did. He did like approach him and was like, "It's you. Angela won't budge." Blah 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 blah. Um,
And yeah, you gone to him, but still, it don't
no, and
negate.
he only went to him. It was a weird situation because like Angela told David that he was gonna vote Enzo in, and then Angela was like, "Don't tell Enzo yet," and David was just like didn't say anything and walked away. So then Angela gets Ben and is like, "We need to tell Enzo now because I just told David, and David's probably gonna tell him." So it was like
Yeah,
a rushed thing.
yeah. So it's like, bro,
It was grimy.
yeah, it was,
Yeah.
it was, it
So
definitely was.
they're competing in pairs. The algorithm comes back. Sure. You know, I don't know. It's kind of like dirty. It's like, I mean, they do this in a lot of challenge seasons where like the gimmick throughout the season comes back in the final. Like the double cross with the fucking dirty 30 and whatever.
Yeah, that's it.
Um, so if your partner quits, you quit, which I think we've seen before. Um, I mean, yeah, we've seen before on seasons that like start from the beginning when you're paired up with somebody. So,
Mm-hmm.
so like this, I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Follow the access too, I guess.
Yeah, like stuff like that makes sense because you're partnered with them the whole season. So yeah, if they quit in the final, then it's your team, so you quit too.
Oh,
But for the algorithm to randomly set you up with somebody who might not be able to complete a task is pretty bullshit.
yeah, I mean, like even like free agents too. Like if Zach did conquer, Laura would have been pissed
Yeah, that's I guess free agents. I don't know what would have happened if one of them quit.
because
Yeah.
because they were interchanging.
Yeah. So I guess we have kind of seen it in the sense when it's similar to this. Each lady will run one of the checkpoints alone because Ben is DQ'd medically. Okay, so checkpoint 1, let's get into it. It's a swim 500 meters off shoreline. They have to swim to the shoreline in freezing cold water.
Yeah,
Desi gets Enzo, and Enzo ends up quitting. I mean, you have a life jacket on, Enzo. You just gotta tough it out. But
let's talk about that.
I mean, yeah, let's talk about it for Desi's point of view. I mean, fuck, man. She looked heartbroken, and I don't blame her. Just like the final just started, you get randomly paired up with somebody who gets you eliminated from the game. I mean, I cannot imagine. Like she said, I would not be able to look Enzo in the eyes. I wouldn't be able to do anything. Like, what the fuck?
Bro, like I just was like, Anzo, you literally like mash up the elimination scene to get to this final
Yeah.
to prove to everybody to just be like, listen, like put some respect on my name. I
Yeah.
out you, like this me. And then to come, on the final first leg, and it's like boom, you done count out. Don't
Yeah,
they have
man.
nice floaties or something like that to keep you above water?
Yeah.
When you swimming or something like that, you could ask for some goggles. I need to
Got a
know if that's
life vest
like
on. I mean,
yeah, like because for me, I like to swim with goggles on. I don't like to go in the
yeah.
water out.
We saw Tyson with some
You're
goggles
protected.
on.
Yeah, with my eyes. Like I need goggles because
Yeah.
I'm into that swimming in water and then
Yeah, especially when there's waves and stuff, you're getting splashed in the face.
yeah. So I don't know if they tell them like it's an option or they don't have goggles or nothing like that.
No, I mean Tyson had goggles, so they definitely had them. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like I think Enzo couldn't swim just period. But I don't know, just I don't know. He was so scared because of the distance
Yeah.
than this large body of water. So maybe that just played on his brain and was like, yeah, that's that. But then to take into account that Desi heavily reliant on you like 100%. And if you quit, she quit. Like you don't even
Yeah.
take into account for a second. Like, bruh,
Yeah.
that I was like, wow, like I feel so bad for Desi.
Yeah.
And I was like, bruh, like she could have literally been
Yeah.
top runner. Like she could have given
Yeah.
Angela a run for her money in this final,
You could have won. Yeah.
could have won. Like the three girls who I had in mind to possibly take it home was definitely Angela 1, Desi 2, Sarah 3.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, like this should be cool.
Yeah.
But
It was a
it
good
sucks
three
that it
women
happened.
that were
Yeah,
gonna be. Yeah,
it
it
sucks
was a
that it happened.
disservice to the final. It made the final worse. It was a
Yeah,
disservice
the
to
final
her.
just gone. The final went from here and was
Yeah.
like, yeah,
And it's like, as a challenge production, that's where I want you to manipulate stuff, where it's like, oh shit, man, like we had a good 3 females that were going to fight for first place, and we're just going to allow one to go home because her partner can't swim. Like this final I think this final was the least consistent final I've ever seen when it came to rule set, when it came to timing out, when it came to how many winners there were going to be. It was just so inconsistent and made up on the fly half the time, it seemed like, which
yeah,
really sucked.
yeah. Because after say Benzo, after well, both of them went home.
Yeah.
After Benzo,
You think they went home on a
eliminated,
flight together?
probably I would love to have that conversation. Benzo boy, I mean Enzo boy, be like, man, get out of here.
Yeah, yeah. Desi on the same flight as Enzo. Oh my god, get me off that plane.
Yeah, Fox, like he's probably bursting with the pretzels and
Kicking the back of his chair the whole time.
yeah, kicking the buckets. You're like, but yeah, like I felt bad for Desi. So
Yeah.
yeah, but them being gone, it was what
So now
7
there's 3 guys and 4 girls.
4 girls. So if Desi were to be there, it would have been 5 girls and 3 guys,
Yeah.
right?
But if you're letting one girl compete on a checkpoint alone at a time, why not 2 girls compete on a checkpoint at a time? Like, I don't know. I
Or
think,
let them compete together.
yeah, that too. Yeah, great point. That would have been perfect. Yeah. Because
Because
these
it's
weren't really
equal
like,
now.
male, and in the finals it's very even playing field between men and
Yeah,
women, so
it
a
literally was
lot of
like,
running,
okay,
which men and women can both do. Most
exactly,
of the
men and
time,
women.
women can run longer because they're lighter and smaller.
Yeah, they can run. They could solve puzzles.
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. So it's like, um, it was very much like you say, even kill. I
Yeah.
didn't think that nothing was so like skewed, where it's like, oh, we can't have 2 females run a leg together. They could have given Desi that. Desi could have still been in it.
Yeah.
I think.
I
'Cause in the
agree.
end, it was still whichever girl make it to the top, the fastest, and then whoever had the most points.
Yeah.
So it still was fair.
Yeah, I know.
Hey,
Wild. But nonetheless, they swim to shore and they have to do like a tanagram puzzle. Danny and Kayla finish first with 5 points.
Yeah.
Sarah, who is alone, finishes second, gets 4 points. Tyson and Justine get 3 points. Dom and Angela get 2 points, and they time out. Dom and Angela time out on this checkpoint, but they're still in the game. They're not eliminated.
Yeah.
Remember, I said that. So then checkpoint 2 starts, and there's 2 portions. There's an eating portion, and then there's a math portion. You have to eat a whole ass onion and garlic cloves. Kayla is by herself struggling. Angela and Danny kill that eating portion. Angela like cuts her shit up, douses it with some oil, like, or lemon acidity. I don't know what she was doing, but she had a whole system and it worked.
It worked.
So you can't hate on her, even though
I
Dom
liked
was
it.
like, just bite the onion. But it's like, hey, she finished before you. So
Yeah, she was like,
yeah, she's like, pinky's out. So it was a, what do you think of the eating portion in general? You know, them we've seen different eating portions where they have to eat disgusting shit like ram testicles. We've seen eating portions where they just have to eat a lot of like peanut butter and like they're just normal food, but like a lot of it. And now this is kind of like a different one where it's like eating ingredients.
for the challenge sake, it was weak in terms of what they normally do. But for
Yeah.
my sake, personally, I would love that. You know,
Really?
I don't eat all type of stuff, you know?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
for me, and it's based on, you know, I guess my faith and stuff like that too. So it's
Yeah.
like, I would have been like,
Yeah, I'd rather do that than like a sheep face or testicles or
yeah,
fucking
like
stomach intestine
I
or
rather
brain.
bite that onion. Like if my bread
Yeah,
could do this thing for the next 2 weeks, okay,
yeah,
fine, cool, you know. But yeah, I was like, okay, the vegan option. I saw a lot of people was like, on listen, that week.
yeah.
But for me personally, I was like, all right, cool.
Tyson was cracking me up the whole time. He was like, I was actually gonna do this cleanse when I got home anyway. He's like shit like that.
Yeah.
He was like,
So
garlic is good for the immune system. Onions are good for the blood system. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was
he
like,
was
this
dropping
guy.
gold during that section. But Danny and Angela finish the eating portion first. They do the math portion, which is solve the equation that is written out on barrels throughout a path. It seemed like a very simple math equation. And
Props. Sorry.
go ahead.
No, I was like, just props to Donnie for coming on the gate swinging. You know, I was very much not expecting that. I was expecting a Tyson lead. Even Dom kind of creeping up there. You know, I wasn't expecting Donnie to just come out the gate. You know, two in a row.
Yeah, stealing the first 2 checkpoints. Him and Angela.
Yeah, that was very impressive. And even when Dom was saying it in his like, you know, confessional or interview, he was like, has Donnie just been like, you know, underperforming all season or like, you know, because he just coming alive right
Yeah,
now. And it's like,
definitely an under the radar player throughout
yes,
the
like
majority
I
of the
was like,
season.
I was like, bro, like that NFL, you know, coming into play or something.
I knew he was going to do good this season. I didn't think he would win the whole thing. That's for sure.
Like I was not expecting that, you know,
Yeah.
but it makes sense now that we have this Kiki reference. Always talking about this is like the story builds
I
up.
thought it was like a gimmick of like he's going to only be known for Kiki and he's not going to win the show or anything, but like that's going to be the thing he's known for. But it's kind of funny how
that played out, and look at us. We literally was clowning like, yeah,
yeah.
all right, Donnie, here for a good time, not a long time, but
Yeah.
look at you. Thought Tyson had it.
Yeah. Tyson and Sarah get second on that checkpoint. Dom and Justine get third. Kayla barely finishes. You don't get timed out on this checkpoint though, so you just have to finish or you go home maybe because Tyson said they were waiting for her for an hour and a half at the end of the checkpoint. So I guess there was no timing out with the food portion, but there was a timing out on the previous checkpoint with the puzzle. I don't know. Again, lack of consistencies, which is something I never want to see, but it does happen in the challenge sometimes. Checkpoint 3, you have to memorize a series of numbers. You have to use a coding wheel to decode the answer at a puzzle station. Justine is by herself on this checkpoint, and it's really unfortunate for her. This is one of the worst checkpoints to be by yourself, because you have to memorize all 10 numbers.
Yeah.
You have to do it all by yourself, and then you have to decode it all by yourself. I mean, that seems difficult. But she gets timed out in this section. She gets to the decoding station, and TJ's like, you timed out, but she's still in the game.
Yeah.
Okay. So like certain checkpoints you could time out, certain ones you can't. Tyson and Angela end up finishing first on that one, so Tyson's catching up a little bit to Danny.
Yeah.
Danny and Sarah get second. Dom and Kayla get third. It's weird when there's only 3 guys in the final. Like when it started off with 5, it was almost, I guess, reminiscent of World of Worlds 1, where everyone was just dropping and getting DQ'd. Mainly the girls were dropping in that one, but everyone was just dropping in this one.
But I mean, that's the traditional way, like 3 people, like 3 guys, 3 girls. So
yeah, true. Yeah, 10 people going into the final is almost too much, especially because they didn't seem like they had a purging portion of this final. It just so happened that people got eliminated.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
Yeah. Checkpoint 4, you have to move all the dirt. This is an overnight portion. You have to move all the dirt to a designated area. One may rest while partner works. Sucks to be alone in this one.
Does.
Like this is the worst one to be alone.
Yeah.
And Angela's alone. And I think she makes a smart decision of not doing it and saving her energy for the next day, taking last place. But she decides to rest instead of working, and TJ in the morning tells her that because she didn't try completing the checkpoint, she's done. She's going home, which was a big shock to me.
I kind of agree with TJ, although I love Angela. You might think that it's a smart decision and stuff like that, but the rules are the rules. Like, you didn't even attempt, to do it. By not doing it, you're disqualified, and being disqualified means you get kicked out. So essentially, with Angela saying, okay, done, I looked at that the same way as when Angela said, let me just cop it and don't do it. Everybody's out here doing it. Yes, you're alone. I get that. I understand. But you didn't even attempt or to even like
tried for 30 minutes.
But
yeah.
So it was like everybody losing sleep and stuff like that. And I was like, I know she getting eliminated. When she did that, I was like, you getting eliminated. And I was like, Angela really had this in the bag, man. Like, I was like, this was her season to win. I'm like, why are you copping out in this way? Like, logically you thought that was a sound decision, and stuff like that. But you can't escape TJ rules with this final,
No, but also in the rules, it said one person may rest while one person works. So why can't she rest? If she doesn't have a partner to work, it's either she's working and not resting or resting and not working. So I feel like because she's alone, she's able to do that. If the other team has one person resting and one person working, then I don't know. I feel like it was just a shitty situation for her. Apparently, also get this, I learned this on Tyson's podcast. Apparently, they had to move the dirt, then move it back to where they originally moved it from to climb on top and get something on the top of the pole. Nobody ended up finishing this. It lasted too long. It started to rain. Production came to them and said, all right, we're just going to give the win to whoever's closest to finishing, and that's
Yeah.
Dom and Kayla. So none of them actually finished the task,
Wow.
but Angela still gets eliminated. If none of them finished the task, I understand Angela didn't even try. She did it for like 30 minutes and then decided to rest. But like that blew me away because they edited it like people did finish, you know. But Tyson on his podcast said nobody finished and that they just like gave the win to whoever was closest. I don't know. Weird.
Yeah, like it's so much things, I guess, different people could say on one side versus the next side. I still was mad that, that she got eliminated because this was her final to win.
Yeah.
But I just knew she would have gotten eliminated. I just was
Yeah,
like,
you just felt
that.
it.
I was like, God, that's the end of the road.
Yeah.
But you do raise a valid point in terms of her being the only person, being the only girl, she has no partner. So it's like in the rules state that one person could, I guess, sleep. It doesn't state that if one partner, if it's only one person,
Yeah.
what should happen? And do they talk about these things? Because for me, I need to know what the rules are.
Dude,
before we
Tyson made
start
it sound
anything.
like they didn't give them anything half the time because they were like making it up on the spot.
Yeah, like I need to know what's good because y'all ain't gonna play me, y'all ain't gonna house me to be like, oh yeah, you gotta do this, you didn't do that, and stuff like that.
You could have been like, yo, Angela, you have to do this. And she would have been like, oh, okay.
Okay.
You know,
I think she would have been that type of person to been like, okay, like let me just look like I'm putting in the work and just like put the shovel here, but then I'm still gonna take last place, I guess.
Yeah.
But you're gonna see that I'm actually, I guess, trying
She
to
knew
do
she
it. Or like just take like a 5. Or she could have do this for me. I would have took some rest and then come out and do a little bit more.
Yeah.
Take some rest, do it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But what she did was that she just
rested
entirely. Yeah. So maybe that was,
and maybe production felt like, wow, that's unfair. Like, she's well rested going into this final portion. Like obviously she's gonna kill it.
Bing. Because for me, I'd have been like, y'all ain't gonna try nothing with me. Like, yeah, it's a one-man bond, but y'all saying, okay, one person rest, the next person work.
Yeah,
I'll take
do the bare minimum.
And yes, I'll do the bare minimum working.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna just still stock up on my rest.
Yeah. Do you think production was like, oh, we're uneven, we have one more woman in this final, let's just eliminate her anyway? Do you think that had something to do with it? Like
at this point, and with a lot of speculation of what people be saying, who knows? Because production isn't doing anything at this point.
Yeah.
Like y'all just making up stuff on the fly. And it's like, come on, man. Like y'all are a multi-million-dollar company and production company.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like wait.
It's not like these checkpoints are super complicated.
Exactly.
You know,
so, y'all got to get it together.
For real. I don't know if it's like the same production that works on the flagship show. I don't know.
But
I feel like there's like interns working at this one.
Yeah, like it's like an intern, like, okay, we'll try you out here, and then if you're successful, then we can put you onto the main show. Yeah. Clearly, all y'all need to be fired.
Yeah, for real.
It
was funny. Yeah, hearing Tyson talk about it was hilarious because he would like ask them a question, production, and they would like make something up, and he'd be like, "Is that in the rule book?" And they'd be like, "Well, no." But
yeah, Tyson was clowning them.
Yeah,
rightfully so, because it's like I think he even said like with the whole number thing. I read on the timeline. I forget who was speaking. I think Tina, Donnie, or somebody else was talking and stuff like that. And with the number like system thing, like I think they were saying that they had to keep going back and forth because like the production people wasn't like the answer was correct. Tyson had.
Oh my God, yeah.
He was telling them like, you sure? Like this right? And then they was like, no, that's wrong. It's incorrect. So he said that they had to go back and forth like twice or 3 times. And then you come back to the same answer. And then you come back to the same answer. And then they said, oh yeah, that's right. Like what?
So he would have had on his podcast, from my understanding, they got to the part, I think it was after the math section where they're putting the numbers on the station that are equals the math equation. And production is like, no, that's wrong. And he's like, no, it's not. It's right. And they're like, no, you have to go back to the beginning. It's wrong. And
Yeah.
he was so adamant on being like, no, like it's right. I know it's right. And he had to do the math in front of them. He had to tell them his numbers and do the math in front of them. And then they're like, oh yeah, you're right. You are correct.
Yeah, that's probably why him and Angela was doing that thing in the dirt.
Yeah. Yeah, makes
It
sense.
makes
And it's
sense.
like, and Tyson said this, it was like, he was like, I'm lucky, like I'm a confident individual and strong-willed, because some of these people out here would be like weak-minded and be like, oh, it's wrong. Let me go back to the beginning. But he was like
Yeah.
very adamant on being right, which helped him. And dude, that is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, there's so much that you forget about some of the shitty stuff that happened this final. It's not a good
It's
look.
crazy. Like this final really wasn't a good look.
No. Visually, it was amazing, which we're about to get to. Checkpoint 5 was a 10-mile run with 2 puzzles, and I very much enjoyed watching, you know me, I'm a runner. I like going on hikes. So I
Yeah.
very much enjoyed watching people run from like a hiking environment, like it was woods. It was obviously cold still, but it was like no snow on the ground, to areas where there was snow on the ground, to areas where there was a lot of snow, and then to areas where it was snowing and sleeting. It was just, you see them run through all these different types of environments and sceneries, and that was my favorite part of the final.
Yeah.
But yeah, checkpoint 5 is double points and it's individual. You get to one honeycomb puzzle where a bunch of colors and shapes in the shape of a honeycomb, and you have to put it together. Tyson is absolutely killing this run. Like I said, it's my favorite part of the final. And then after this honeycomb puzzle, which I don't know if Sarah ever completed it. I looked back, and Tyson even said it on his podcast that she didn't. They didn't show it on the show of her completing it. So maybe she timed out there as well. They probably
It's like we
saw
need
everyone quit, and then they were like, oh, we need somebody to finish. So let's just
female
time her
winner.
out, move her on to the next portion.
It's like we need a female winner.
Yeah.
Because Sarah looked like she was down and out. Like she looked
Yeah.
like that was it. Because I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like they're getting all the females DQing. Like it's crazy.
Another thing on Tyson's podcast, they were all under the impression that there was going to be one winner. And you can even hear it before this last checkpoint starts. You know, you can tell when TJ's voice is dubbed over or if it's actually him talking, like during the moment that we're watching. And it was clearly dubbed over, one female and one male winner. And that was the first time we heard it. I think at the beginning of the final, they said, you know, one person is walking away with $500,000. I don't know. I have to go back and check. But Tyson and all of the castmates were under the impression that one person was walking away winner.
I mean,
Maybe they were incorrect in that assumption because there is this global tournament and they probably need a male and female winner.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
All season TJ been saying, like, you know, your chance to compete in this global thing, and I just was automatically like, okay, male, female.
Me too.
All season, so I just knew it would have been a male and a female winner. That's why.
Yeah, I don't know why they were so dead set on that. Even Danny, apparently Danny was like furious at this when his money got split with Sarah, because I think he thought it was all going to him.
Wow.
Yeah. Then they get to a Sudoku puzzle that looks like maybe the most difficult Sudoku puzzle we've ever seen on the show, period.
In the cold.
In the freezing cold.
Like watching Tyson Han like this.
Yeah. They had good camera angle for Tyson. It was like his hands were shaking the whole time. And it's a weird thing to end on, a Sudoku puzzle, because it's almost like you can either do it or you don't, especially when somebody does it and they're running to the finish line and you have to restart. And it's like, what's the point of restarting? He's going to get to the finish line before I do this, and he's going to have more points than me.
Yeah, it plays on your
So,
mental.
yeah, watching everybody quit was very strange.
Yeah, I could see. Yeah, I could see if Donnie was points was lower than Tyson, and then him still trying to go up. Tyson still had a chance, I guess,
Yeah.
to still complete it and make it to the mountain and be like,
Yeah.
okay, Cam second here, but with the double points, maybe that still have a chance because I've been doing so well.
Yeah.
I've been doing better than him. All
Tyson, he said it during the episode. He was like, all I need is one more point than Danny. So if he got first place, he would have gotten that
automatically
one more
won.
point. But second place was not enough.
Yeah.
These, because there were so little people, it was easy to do the math in these checkpoints. It's like, okay, first checkpoint, I got 5, so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so. So you can really keep track of it. So he definitely knew what he needed to do, and that was place first in this last checkpoint. And if he didn't, he was gonna not win. So I almost don't blame them for quitting. I don't think I would have been able to complete that Sudoku puzzle, so I would have had no chance if there was no timing out.
I love completing like Sudoku puzzles. Like I have that. I just used to have that on my phone. So when Donnie was saying that, I was like, I relate.
Yeah.
I just used to be doing it.
Yeah, he was grinning. He was cheesing when he saw a Sudoku puzzle.
I was like CT coming down, like, yeah, like let's go.
Oh yeah, right.
Boom.
So I mean, here, 1 second.
Woo.
So everyone quits. Sarah, I guess, gets timed out on the honeycomb puzzle and eventually does complete the Sudoku puzzle. So 2 people finish the race, a male and a female. They're the winners. Yeah, Danny wins and Sarah wins. Didn't think Sarah would come out with the win, but victim of circumstance of Desi getting eliminated, Angela getting eliminated, Kayla not being the greatest competitor, although she did
make sense to me.
Huh?
She was the 3rd pick for me.
Yeah.
In terms of the roster, what I was thinking, I was like, Desi, Sarah.
Yeah, but I didn't see her edging Angela at least. But you never know in these checkpoint finals, anything can happen. It depends on who you're partnered with in certain sections. So overall, what would you give the final out of 10?
In terms of what it was, on paper, I would have given that an 8.5. But in terms of like how everything went, I gotta give that a 5.
Yeah, I feel like you're being generous too. On paper, dude, that Sudoku puzzle really threw me for a loop at the end. I do not like how they ended up on the last checkpoint was a Sudoku puzzle, and let alone a extremely difficult one. So that put a bad taste in my mouth. But other than that, I'd probably give the on paper like a 7 out of 10, and then how it played out, 3 or 4. I mean, it was bad,
I feel you.
It was bad.
I feel you. I don't blame you.
Yeah, it's like usually I like rewatching these finals too, like the next day or a couple days later, but it was a rough rewatch.
I'm not watching it because it's like I just know everybody just dropping on like flies. Like it ain't.
Yeah, it was just more sad than like.
Yeah, like it was like Dom, like y'all just dropping out. Like
Ben gets eliminated, Desi gets eliminated, Enzo gets eliminated, Dom, Justine, Kayla, and Tyson get eliminated, and it's just Danny and Sarah. So Danny and Sarah will be on this global tournament.
I'm interested in that.
Cool, I guess. Let's talk about the new season of the challenge, though.
Whoop whoop.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen the trailer. I am super excited to see certain people back.
Yes, and surprised.
Yes, to see Laurel back.
Laurel.
Turbo back.
Turbo.
Honestly, even Johnny.
Well, obviously, bruh. Come on, the Banana Man.
see what he, cooking up. This will be his second time paired with Nani.
Yep.
I think this is the second pair to go back to back.
Mm.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken. First one was CT and DM for Battle of the Axes 1 and
Yeah.
2. So
We
now
don't
we
see
have
too many
Battle.
reoccurring pairs on the challenge.
Yeah, so the fact that Banani is alive and well again, coming off of Battle of the Axes 2, now on to Ride or Dies. That's
Right
interesting.
or dies. Yeah.
So
So
we'll see.
yeah, him and Nani.
Nelson too.
Darrell is back, which we didn't think was gonna
Yeah,
happen,
but
right?
Darrell is not gonna win because he's paired with Veronica, so it's not happening.
Yeah,
Sorry.
if Veronica was in better shape, I mean, I'd think about it, but she doesn't look like
They're
she's
not,
in too great of
they're not
shape.
winning. If that's the case, they should have put Darrell with Emily or something.
Dude,
Bring
yeah. Well, yeah, it's like Darrell, why you going on this
Yeah.
3-month trip away from your family to probably not win? You don't seem like the type of person to do that.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like I'm sure production I'm sure Johnny will be like, listen, if my partner ain't making no sense, then y'all could cut
I'm
this.
almost surprised
Come in.
Bananas is with Nani and is okay with that.
I mean, I don't see they work well together on
Yeah.
Axis too. So it was like, it wasn't bad. They were good. They were
And
good.
Yeah, and honestly, it works well because Nani has the best political game in the house, probably, and Johnny
Yeah.
is, not a lot of people fuck with Johnny or want to see him. So it's like Nani can help damage control in those situations.
But here's what I also think, Tom. Yes, I'm excited to see individuals coming into this, but some parents, I'm just like, bro, like what y'all doing? Like, I don't know. Like, I feel as if I need more hard-nosed pairs, like
Yeah,
CT and Kara,
yeah,
where it's
yeah, or
open, like
yeah,
a Polly and maybe somebody good from Big Brother like Davon, like give us some
yeah.
professional goodness, like why isn't if they can do this co-op type of thing. They could have paired Laurel with somebody better. I don't know. Flip and put Laurel with Jordan, maybe. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
and Casey, like y'all really dropping the ball with some of these pairs,
Who is Casey with?
Okay, I don't even know. I
Yeah,
don't
that's a
know.
good question. I think she might be
I
with a
don't know.
rookie.
Like I thought that they would have paired Casey and Fessy together, like hands down.
Yeah,
I thought they would have done that.
yeah.
Like
So
obviously I still wouldn't have been rooting for them, but it just made sense
one of
to them.
the biggest surprise was Jordan and Anissa.
Yeah, and it's like Jordan, you ain't winning with Anissa. Like, I don't think it's gonna be this Landon and Carly situation, you know?
No, I don't know. I guess it could happen depending on who they
I
get
don't
into the
see it.
final with,
I don't see it.
but it's like you guys are ride or dies since when?
Thank you. So it's like, what are these ride or dies? Like, like what are we doing?
Like I
Like,
get it. Challenge Production wants to put Anissa with a good competitor, and Jordan is a good enough guy where he's like, yeah, I'll do it. I have enough money. Like I don't care if I win necessarily. I guess, but
yeah, and the fact that Jordan is even back on the flagship show,
yeah, I guess that means his ban ran out, which is
exactly.
cool,
So
I
these people
guess.
were saying that he was on a 3-month ban, but then it's like it raised the question like why this dude back on the show when other people, ain't. But I
Yeah,
guess people could say that about Turbo because they was having this thing to say that he was kind of like whatever it was.
yeah.
But I
Oh,
just
Jordan and Turbo in the same house again. That should be interesting. I mean,
and
the
Tori.
dynamics are going to be interesting because you do
It
have
definitely will because
Bessie,
Tori's
Tori,
there,
and Jordan
Bessie,
in the
and
same
Jordan in the
house.
same house. And I saw the trailer where she was speaking with him and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
we're gonna get, the drama and stuff like that for sure.
yeah,
But yeah, I just felt as if some of these parents could have been more well thought of.
yeah.
So
Kayla is with her husband, Sam Bird, who's from,
which is fine.
yeah, which is fine. That's cool.
Fine with that. I'm fine with
Nelson is with Nereese.
like one man,
Nelson,
like
Nelson, why
why
do you
y'all
always pick the weakest partners? Remember when you could pick your partners in Spies, Lies, and Allies, and he picks the small Amber? It's like
I was
Nelson,
like
you need somebody to complement your intelligence level.
Like, bro, like I wish Kiam was on this season and she was paired with Nelson.
Something.
like something like that. But
I mean,
obviously
yeah,
it
this
won't be
they did
because
this at the wrong time. You could have had Cam and Leroy. You could have had Kara and CT. You could have had even Bananas and Laurel. They've always had a good
yeah,
relationship.
or and
Um,
then you could bring in Emily back and then probably bring in Derek and Darrell or something like
yeah,
that. Like pair it up.
Derek and Katie would have been a funny one. Uh,
Cyrus and Flippin' Beth. I don't know.
Cyrus and Beth, Tech and Ruthie.
Yeah, like bro, like y'all really could have been like y'all could have mixed old school, new school, and then
Yeah.
the middle age
Nam, they keep
people.
bringing Nam back for some reason.
Yeah, and I don't know, like I don't know if it's sticking
I
because
don't
it's
know if
like,
it is either. It hasn't so far.
uh,
Tori is with Devin. That's an interesting
that's a
pairing that I
very
don't think has a.
interesting.
I mean, I don't know. They're not one of the stronger pairs, but they're an interesting one in my opinion.
I think based on some things that you're hungry, want something to eat. You can go to KFC for me. All right, whatever. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, okay. But sorry.
You're
But
good.
yeah, so it's like what were we talking about?
Just Tori and Devin.
Tori and Devin, yeah. So yeah, they're a very interesting pair. Devin has definitely had a lot of seasons under his belt where he's seen a lot of things.
Yeah.
Where I could say that okay, he knows how to manipulate certain things, and because you have that little West, within him,
Yes.
stuff like that.
He's a
So
good
he's a good,
player. He's a good
yeah,
player.
he's a fairly good player,
Yeah.
and Tori is a
A
good
fairly good
player
player as well.
as well. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking that pair is kind of
They complement each
solid.
other well. Um,
I think they're solid.
but will they exceed expectations? I don't know.
I think they're I think they're top 5 teams for sure.
That's true because of like how lopsided some of these teams are, like a Darrell and a Veronica. Yeah, Darrell's amazing,
Yeah,
but
but it's like you're only as good as your
only
partner. So
yeah.
it's like where Tori might drop down in the mental capacity of things, Devin shines.
I think Jordan and Anissa might be the favorite in most eliminations. Like I don't want to see them in elimination. I'd rather see Bananas and Nani, Darrell and Veronica, anyone. I think they're
Yeah.
one of the stronger elimination teams, which could get them to the final.
Top 3. Who would you say the top 3 teams are?
Well, I mean, we don't know these freaking rookie teams. Are you talking about top 3 teams with a vet?
Just going off a whim, like
Well,
based on
from what I
know,
understand and
what you
know,
know.
I mean, I don't know who Turbo is with. He's with a rookie. I know Fessy is with a rookie as well. Laurel is with a rookie. I think Casey's with a rookie. Amber is with her boyfriend who's a rookie. Jay and Michelle are together. I think they're a decent team, but pretty inexperienced. I don't know. I don't know these rookies. Nam is with a rookie.
Hey, okay, here's what I'll say. These are my top 3 teams.
Yeah.
I'm going based on how tight and how they know each other, and then their capabilities and stuff like that. So I will say, Johnny and Nani.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this might be a wild card. I would actually put some money on Kayla and her fiance,
Sam Bird.
and I would say Devin and Tori.
Well, I think I think Kayla and Nani will be pretty good friends this season. So I think they have the opportunity to run the house with like the vet connections. I think Darrell, or I think Bananas will really get Darrell on his side because he's not afraid of running against Veronica in the final.
Yeah. So
Same with Jordan and Anissa. I think they're gonna stick together.
First of all, Jordan dances to the beat of Johnny's drum, in a certain way.
Yeah.
He still like kind of reveres or looks up to him in this way, but just knows that but Jordan is still confident in his ability.
Yes.
But in terms of like that aspect of things. Like if Johnny says something, then he'll be like, "Oh yeah, this at the next one."
Yeah.
So yeah, Johnny will just have certain people around his finger, just to be like, "All right, let's go." But then Laurel is a wild card, and she marches definitely to the beat of her drum. So if you
Yeah.
don't align with what she wants, then that's that. But if you align with what she wants, then yes. But the
Yeah.
reason I would say Laurel will also be an ally to Johnny and Nani is
Yeah.
because of Nani and Laurel's relationship.
Yeah.
And Nani has Casey. So Nani
Yeah.
has to be in the
She's
I
in the middle of it all with the
She
politics.
literally is good with everybody.
Yeah.
She's
That's
good with
interesting.
everybody. Her social game is great. So Johnny coming back into it, he kind of is at an advantage because Nani knows so much people. She's tied to so many people
Yeah.
on the show. And then
Apparently Janelle was supposed to be Banana's partner this season. She posted something
Janelle?
on Twitter. Janelle, yeah, from Key West, his Real World season.
Oh,
She was on the
okay.
last season of All Stars.
Okay.
That would have been really fun to watch.
That would have been nice.
But yeah, that wraps it up. I'd love to keep talking about this, but I have to leave in 15 minutes.
Yes.
So I am gonna wrap this podcast up. I forgot we're still recording. We're not talking about Challenge USA anymore. We're talking about Ride or Dies. October 12th, baby.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Sir. But we
All
definitely gonna link up again, just off camera, just
Oh yeah,
talk back and forth.
for sure. This week, either Tuesday or Wednesday, I should have some free time. But let's wrap it up. I gotta get dressed. Blah blah blah. All that dumb stuff. Go to work. Anyway, this has been Challenge Express. Choo choo. Thanks for joining. Please leave a comment. Sorry that we got this podcast out super late. I'm gonna upload it on Tuesday because, like I said, I gotta head out of here. Leave us any questions about the final, about the season. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us throughout this whole season. We appreciate it. But
Yes.
until Challenge Ride or Dies, peace.